It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
Let's talk some sports. That's right. It is Wednesday, November 23rd, 2022. Ermanni and Edwards with Mavs. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, and of course, Fox2Detroit.com and the Fox 2 app. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, my friend Ryan Amani. Extremely excited to be on today. It's just good feelings, man. Like Thanksgiving's coming up. Thanksgiving's tomorrow. I have a lot to be thankful for. I'm in a great space, working with you guys. It's just good to see right now. But it's also Michigan State week. I think that puts a little bit of a bigger smile on my face, considering I've been watching some of those old school classic games. And man, I got to tell you, this rivalry getting back to what it used to be. I'm excited.
He is a classic himself, the great Tom Mazawey, wearing the Michigan pullover. Go blue, baby, go blue, Maz.
Hey, 26 years ago today, Desmond Howard takes it to the house, and Keith Jackson with those famous words, "Hello, Heisman," and literally, Desmond shoots the Heisman pose. It's like he heard Keith Jackson say it.
That had to be more than 26 years ago, Maz. Yesterday was Charles Woodson.
36.
Was it 36?
No, hold
well,
on.
1991,
it was
right?
91. So it was
31 years.
Yeah.
31
okay,
years.
My bad.
Yeah, that's okay.
Today is the anniversary of Desmond's pose.
Wow.
So I'm going to get something right. No, but
how about
31
that?
years,
But
man.
Keith Jackson
incredible.
calling it as he's running in the end zone, and then Desmond shoots the pose. It was like he heard the voice of God, which
Hello,
is Keith Jackson.
Heisman.
Oh my goodness!
And that's why I asked Charles that question yesterday. Shout out to Charles Woodson. Thanks again for coming on the show. Is because you're waiting for that. Like me, I was 14 when Charles ran up the sideline, scored the touchdown, and I'm going back because I was at the 91 game with my dad. I was at the 97 game. So as I'm watching Charles go up the sideline, instantly, you know what happens in our mind, Ryan and Amani. I'm like, oh, shoot, here it comes. Charles is about to strike the pose. Charles is about to knock it out the park. And when you don't get the pose, it was like, he missed a chance. Like, lightning never strikes twice in the same place. That would have been the same exact route. That would have been the same exact end zone. And it was the same exact result. Lightning doesn't strike twice. It did that day.
And with C. Wood, though, the team did jump on him nearly right away. But it is so great to talk about all these things. And Braylon, you were just mentioning about watching the old classic
ESPN
games.
Classic, yeah.
Do they even still have? I didn't even know ESPN
They don't
Classics
have it
did.
anymore.
No,
It's a
ESPN
shame.
Classic definitely is gone.
Yeah.
But you can still watch them on YouTube, type the stuff in. And I've been watching.
Big Ten Network has some classics, I'm sure.
One thing about ESPN, like with the network, going back in there watching those classic games, is I used to watch them before the game because they will always have them on the night before the games. So in the hotel, you never could sleep. Like, I'm literally up watching Charles Woodson in Boston get into it. I'm watching Desmond. I'm watching, going back even further. I'm watching games. The one game that has always been my favorite to watch, and even the 97 game, like, that's the game, and that's my guy. But that 95 game is my favorite game. I mean, Michigan had
The 95 game, the Biaka-Batuka game.
The 95 game. Michigan had no place beating that Ohio State team, number 2 in the country. They had the Heisman winner in Eddie George. Tyrone Wheatley was out that year. They had a young defense. Charles Woodson was even a freshman on that team. Not only did they beat him handily. Chimanga Biaka-Batuka has 178 at halftime. Like 178 at halftime. And the game was just beautifully won. And oh, by the way, it was Lloyd Carr's first win against Ohio State as a head coach. So
I think my favorite Michigan-Ohio State game has to be 97, just because it was my freshman year. I was there. Just the build-up and how, excited we were that Charles Woodson had a shot at the Heisman. And then, a national championship in 97 was unheard of. I mean, Michigan just was never in the conversation for a national championship.
Hold on. They were ranked to finish 7th in the Big Ten that year.
I don't remember that.
They were ranked to finish 6th or 7th in the Big Ten that year.
That's cool. Well, Brian Griese came back for that fifth-year senior
to beat out
year.
Tom Brady and Dreisbach.
Scott Dreisbach hurt his elbow or hurt his arm or whatever, and the rest is history.
If you look at that team, it just was a patchwork quilt of players that got the job done. Because if you look at wide receiver, you're not looking at wide receiver. You're not looking at Dave Terrell or Amani Toomer, who we have on today. You're looking at Ty Streets. You're looking at Charles playing a little bit of offense. You look at Tommy Shaw. I mean, Jeremy Tooman was pretty good tight end. Ended up being a damn good tight end. You had Clarence Williams from Cass Tech at running back.
Absolutely.
Then you had Chris Howard, who ended up being the starter in that Rose Bowl. Then you also had A-Train was playing on that team.
My guy.
It just was a bunch of players getting it all done as a collective as a whole. And obviously you did have that guy on the other side, number 2.
As Braylon mentioned, Amani Toomer is going to join us in just a little bit, probably about 20, 25 minutes from now. The former Michigan great, of course, the former New York Giants great. Super Bowl champ.
42,
really,
Super Bowl 42.
One of the most steady careers that you could possibly have in the National Football League. And one of the Giants greats of all time in the Ring of Honor there. We'll talk to him coming up.
He has like 17 records still that he holds for the Giants.
Also coming up in the 3 o'clock hour today, we're going to talk to Dave Beachnau, the executive director of the Detroit Sports Commission. A Final Four is coming back to Detroit in 2027.
How'd they pull that off?
How that went down, I'm very curious to see. And yes, I am wearing my De La Salle hat today. State championship game on Friday, the Division II, going for back-to-back De La Salle. I know
Coach Rome.
Grand Rapids. Somebody in Grand Rapids. I don't know. We'll see.
It's Catholic. It's
maybe Grand Rapids something. I don't even know.
So I just was up there. It'll come to me.
Yeah,
we figure it out.
Yeah.
Remember the autograph session I did up there?
Yeah, I do.
The guy that was in charge of that, his son is on that team.
Really?
That's why I know the team. I just can't think of the full name.
Yeah, but guys, I wanted to start with a little bit of breaking news. It just came down at about 20 minutes before our show started today, and the Washtenaw County prosecutors have charged 7 Michigan State players. Now, these are charges. They are presumed innocent unless proven guilty. But here are the 7. So this is a very serious one. Kerry Crump was charged with 1 count of felonious assault. Okay, that is a felony. That is the only felony that is among the charges here. Brown, Gross, White, Wright, Young. Those 5 players have been charged with a misdemeanor aggravated assault. Jacoby Windman, 1 count of assault and battery. That, too, is a misdemeanor. The deal with the misdemeanors, punishable by a $500 fine and up to 93 days in jail. It is a misdemeanor. Those are handled in district court. The felony charge for Mr. Kerry Crump, that is a very serious charge. You don't know. I don't know if this is a 4-year felony or a 10-year felony, but this is a very serious charge. It's handled in circuit court. The misdemeanors are handled in district court. This is a big deal.
It is a big deal. It's no laughing matter for these young men. This is legitimately, as you're trying to shape your life, this isn't what you expect to happen and what you want to happen. The good news is when you're dealing with misdemeanors, and not like I'm some guy that is a professional on misdemeanors, but when you're dealing with misdemeanors, when you look at a couple factors, one, none of them have priors. That's going to be major for them when they get their attorney, their representation, and they take this to court. Thing two, they're in an institution that is Michigan State. That's going to be heavily looked upon as well, and say, hey, you know what? They're in a space where this is who they are. They're young men. They're trying to get education, trying to do right for themselves. They'll probably be looking at, like you said, Charlie said, they'll be looking at a $500 fine, and then they'll probably not get any days in jail. They won't get anything like that. They'll just get probation of some sort and then some community service that they'll have to do as well. Now, that felony one, that one's going to be serious because he did swing that helmet, and we live in a different day in society where people are getting held accountable for the actions that they do, especially when intent of harm or malicious act is, no matter how old you are, we've seen people younger than that get in trouble for a little less than that. So that's the one that bothers me, as he is a young man, and you don't want this to shape the very foundation of his life.
Hopefully this kid is going to apologize and to the parents, to the kid that he hit, and I hope they just let it go this time. If he's a first-timer, just let it go. It was very bad. It was heat of the moment. But these guys are student athletes. I don't want to see something like that happen to these kids. I mean, hopefully they're going to be able to settle this and maybe drop the charges. I don't know if you're allowed to do that or not. Is this the one that the family is actually going after?
The felony is the one the family is going after.
So I'm hoping that they could be cool about it going forward.
I'm just hoping at some point throughout that case, the individual, the one-off with that one, I'm hoping that family and the player himself, I just hope that somewhere along that line that there is a mutual apology, there's a mutual reception of the apology, and then they can kind of go, because it's really on him. Like if he basically says, you know what, things happen, I'm not that hurt, or blah, 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 your mom, it's okay. He apologized, he seems sincere. Like if you get something like that, then it becomes on that player to kind of squash this and nullify the effect of it. But if it doesn't get to that, this thing may get ugly as we're looking at this summer.
Well, one of the things about the felony too, and again, these are just
preliminary.
Yes, I do not know this to be true. I'm just kind of surmising perhaps the felony because of the injury sustained.
Right. This is my Wikipedia law degree right now.
Right. This is my Wikipedia law degree. Perhaps that charge was so serious because the injury suffered has been a serious one. And you know how it is at colleges and universities when you're dealing with an injury. Yeah. Those things are not shared. But I have not seen Jaden McBurrows on the field since this injury, since this fight. So whether or not this injury is very severe, whether it's a concussion, who knows? I don't know. When you talk about swinging a helmet at somebody's dome, I don't know how hurt he is now. I don't know the lingering damage that can be done to that. But perhaps the injury sustained to Jaden McBurrows is a reason why this charge was elevated to felony.
And this is also a pivotal moment in terms of college football, in terms of for these young players watching this across the country. Like this is no longer where you can fight before games and it'd be okay and nothing really happened. This is no longer where after a loss between Clemson and South Carolina, that vicious game in 2009 or 10 maybe so, where you're getting helmets and things slung on the field at that time. You can't do that anymore and get away with it. You're no longer able to do that and you get a game suspension, or your coach can come out and bat for you and say, well, he's a good kid. Those days are gone. When you do things that are on this level, when you start talking felony, when you start talking jail time, when you start talking battery and assault and aggravated, when you start talking those type of terms, this is not the same as that day. So it's letting kids know, you know what, why swing the helmet? You know what, why kick the foot?
These kids should be able to sit down with their team, and they should put up a video of NHL players settling their differences on the ice. Because when the two guys, the enforcers, go at it, and I just reminded myself of this because I saw Ty Domi against Bob Probert today, and it just reminded me of these two guys really appreciated the hell out of each other, and they beat the hell out of each other a couple different times. But you know what? It was man on man. They didn't swing helmets. They didn't do anything. It's bare knuckles. It's if you want to fight like a man. Don't fight. Yeah. Don't be swinging your helmet and or anything else. It's a freaking weapon. You know what, man? Be a man. If you're gonna fight, be a man.
I agree with you 100%, but you look at the way hockey is constructed. Hockey was always constructed to let two guys fight. Hockey is always constructed to kind of let you get your difference settled, go into the penalty box, and then come back to the game. Or somebody took a cheap shot on your best player last game. Now you got the enforcer who's going to come out and get him right the next game. Football's not like that. You got 122 guys on the team. You got guys that may never touch the field. You got guys that, they don't have a chance to necessarily go out there and make the tackle or make the touchdown to fight if something happens in the tunnel. There's just no fighting. Like, that's what you learn. There's just no fighting. There's just no way to get that out unless it's, starter versus a starter, something like that. You have to take care of yourself, and that means I'm not throwing helmets. I'm not kicking on the ground because my high school coaches didn't teach you that. Right. I mean, your high school coaches didn't teach you that. You didn't learn that in the last few years. Different day, different era, and they're not learning that anymore.
Ohio State did something very clever when it came to this week of practice in Columbus. Braylon, I'm going to ask you, take a minute to think about it. What did you guys do in the week leading up to Michigan-Ohio State week at practice?
Put Buckeye nuts in the urinal.
well, wait, save it.
It was a joke. That's not for real. I was saying putting Buckeye nuts in the urinals.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
But you ruined it.
Well, I didn't know. I didn't know. Maybe that's what you did.
Hey,
we'll ask you that.
Before you go to the break, one of the comments in the Woodward chat, Michigan man Jason said, Tuck bailout coming.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
That was one of the things we talked about. Like,
Hey man, when you're a college football head coach, you are.
It's all on you.
You are responsible for that kid. You are responsible for somebody's kid that they entrusted you. To take over. Guys, gonna get to a break. Also, college football playoff last night. SEC. Let you know what jumped out to me, and I want to get your thoughts as well. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. You see the black and yellow sign out in front of your house. Tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 local monitoring. Make sure what is important to you stays safe. Call this number right here, 1-800-STAY-OUT. That number again, 1-800-STAY OUT. Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
At Alta.
Uptime.
Uptime matters.
It
Alta
matters.
Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, check out Alta Rental. They got you covered. Call them today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. 844-GO, the number 2, Alta.
No doubt about it. We love our friends at Alta, Guardian Alarm, and everywhere else that you just heard in the last couple of minutes. All right, Braylon, what did you do Michigan-Ohio State week? Because the Buckeyes, and they put this out on Twitter, they have used yellow tape. I know, Fletch, we don't have that, but they used blue tape and yellow tape and made Michigan helmets out of their Buckeye helmets. They won't even say the word Michigan, but they'll put the Wolverine helmets on their own helmets, apparently.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Imitation is the highest form of flattery, so we appreciate you guys down south. No, but the big thing about it is they've been doing this for a very long time. When I was at Michigan, the guys that play on the scout team, where they're giving you the look, they're imitating Travion Henderson, they're imitating C.J. Stroud. They always would give it that extra flair of performance, and for the week, you put the gray tape on the helmet, and then you put the red stripe this way, and then you just draw the Buckeye nets with like a marker. You do the asterisk sign. You just put a bunch of those. So guys were creative, and they would do that, and it gives you the sense that you're really playing against Ohio State. But coach stopped doing that because guys would hit a little harder that we could practice looking at those Buckeye colors. But it's very good. It gives you that sense that you're going against this team, man. You see the colors. It's hard to kind of look at the Old State uniform and think you're playing against Blake Corum or Donovan Edwards. If you're looking at that helmet, that hate, it definitely comes through the door.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter this week. I loved it. I thought it was great. It's one of the great uses of social media, too, right? We learn about all these fun things that you do during the week and that we're not privy to, just being regular people. Right?
They went. Can we sit here and talk about how detailed they were? Like, that was a little bit, like, way too much detail to get to looking like Michigan. Like, I mean, we put a little gray tape, a little red tape in there, draw some asterisks on it. Hey, it looks enough like Ohio State. Like, they made those helmets look really like University of Michigan. Like,
for real.
I'm just saying, like, they've been waiting to see that for a very long time. I don't know. I'm just saying.
You got anything on that, Maz? You like that or you don't like that?
No, I think it's been, like Braylon said, it's been going on for a long time. So it's just like putting a red jersey on a quarterback, or who's going to be Christian McCaffrey this week on the Lions side if they're playing the 49ers. You got to have guys that act like those guys. So it's been going on for a while, and hopefully they didn't find out much about Michigan. Hopefully Michigan's going to be healthy enough and get the win.
You know what those were fun for, though, Ryan and Maz? Like, those were fun for finding out who you had, like, what other talent you had on your team. Because a lot of time you're going to have young freshmen that are redshirting. They're going to be the guys on scout team giving you the demonstration. You might have a wide receiver play quarterback because you might be playing against a Vince Young, Deshaun Watson type quarterback, and you would see the guys on your team that you didn't have a chance to watch as upperclassmen, and you're like, damn. These kids can go. Like, I remember watching Antonio Bass in that role. I remember watching Steve Breston his freshman year. I'm like, oh no, he's gonna play. Like, I don't know what he's gonna play a lot. It's fun to watch that during these weeks.
College football playoff last night, guys. Why does this committee hate Clemson so much?
Because we hate them too.
It's just remarkable. So top 4 remain the same, which I do think that is important as well. I'll let you know about that in a minute.
Okay.
But LSU at 5 above USC. At 6, Alabama stays in front of Clemson. So again, you have 2 SEC teams, LSU and Alabama, both with 2 losses, both ahead of 1-loss Clemson. That's what I took out of that last night. So we can pick that apart.
SEC over ACC. That's all, right?
The thing I take about it is this. The way that it's scripted, the way that it's set up, the way that I'm assessing it is everything will take care of itself. Like, that's how they slated it. You slate LSU at 5, okay? LSU's at 5 because you want them kind of close. If they in fact happen to beat Georgia, now you can make it that much easier to explain why a 2-loss LSU team is going to be in the Final Four. But they're not expecting them to beat Georgia. As soon as they lose to Georgia, they're going to drop them right out of contention. You won't even know they were close. Clemson, no one likes Clemson. No one believes in Clemson. They've changed their quarterback 3 times this year. Look at these guys out there getting it in. You see that shirt says Michigan State. You see they've changed their quarterback 3 times this year. Nobody believes in Clemson. They believe that they'll lose to UNC or somewhere along the way before the season's over. Looking at that, it is SEC bias. It is what it is. But they are setting those games up to feel like everything is going to separate itself and they won't have to make that hard decision.
You know what I also thought was interesting?
Yeah.
That Michigan stayed at 3. And I think that is important as well.
Hell yeah.
Because
you thought TCU was coming up?
I did.
They both barely won.
I understand, but TCU on the road at Baylor is a little bit tougher than Michigan at home against a bad Illinois team.
But they were ranked, right? Weren't they?
No, they were not ranked.
Well, they were ranked the prior week.
Yeah,
21st.
Texas A&M was ranked 2. They were ranked 6 this season, lost 7 games.
I understand, but Illinois was ranked just a week ago at 21.
Right. Michigan State was ranked in the top 10 this year, too.
I'm saying a week ago. Right?
Baylor was ranked 2 weeks ago, if you want to play that game. Like, I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
No, I'm saying
Baylor's
6-4.
Yeah.
They were ranked 2 weeks ago.
But what I'm trying to tell you is with Michigan ranked number 3, a loss, now they'll need some help, but I am not convinced that a loss at Ohio State means they're dead and buried. They're going to need a lot of help. They are. But I do think they are alive in this thing because they're in the 3 slot this week. This was a very important week to be number 3.
Yeah, very important week to be number 3. I just think I'm starting to get to the point, though, with this. The SEC bias is starting to get to a different level when you're starting to really dive down into it. LSU's getting so much credit because they beat Alabama. They're getting a lot of credit for that win. I think they beat Ole Miss in there, so they're getting credit for that. But when you look at Tennessee, and everybody was giving Tennessee credit. Tennessee beat LSU, but LSU, South Carolina just beat the brakes off of Tennessee.
Yep.
Tennessee was getting credit. As you're starting to watch it, it's not really fair, and I know fair isn't the word we're talking about. Why is it that a 2-loss team, SEC, is even in contention to get into the national championship situation with 2 losses? When you have a bunch of 1-loss teams, when you have particularly 2 undefeated teams, shouldn't be any talk about anybody in the championship that has at least 2 losses. Shouldn't even be conversated.
Let me ask you this, guys. I've asked you before. I'll ask you again. Do you think Michigan could beat Alabama?
Yes.
How about you, Braylon?
Yes.
This is not the Alabama team that you think it is.
Okay.
But yes, I do.
Like everybody
has
shown that they have a level of, imperfection. Like you even look at Georgia against a Kentucky team, and you can say, oh well, everybody has shown you somewhere along the way. And most recently, you look at TCU, 3 weeks in a row they've almost lost. You look at Michigan, you look at Ohio State against Maryland, you look at Ohio State against Penn State, you look at Ohio State against Northwestern. Everybody has shown you somewhere that there's a level of you actually can beat this team. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out after these conference championships.
Can they beat LSU?
Michigan?
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course.
I disagree with you guys.
You disagree that they could beat LSU?
Yeah, I don't think they could beat either of those two teams.
What about LSU? Have you even watched LSU? What about LSU?
I watched them about 4 different times.
What about LSU lets you know that Michigan can't beat them?
I just think they're a more complete team than Michigan.
5 weeks ago, we were talking about LSU and Brian Kelly like being terrible. Like you were literally talking about LSU.
Not me. I said Brian Kelly's a great coach.
But you didn't say this team was a great team. Now all of a sudden they're a complete team.
I didn't say they weren't a great team.
Here's the deal.
Don't put words in my mouth.
I think
You weren't talking about 5 weeks ago. Now they're a complete team. Like when
That's because they're better now.
when you say
like you were on Oregon.
Oh, but now because you believe it's a real deal. But when I said it's a difference.
My God.
No, I'm just saying. When I said that between Oregon at the beginning of the season, I said at the end of the season teams are different. What did you say? You said, "No, I saw what I saw in the beginning of the season."
Hey, Fletch, put that college football ranking back up. Because I'll tell you, this is what I think, Maz. I think anybody in the top 10, not 11, but I think anybody in the top 10 could beat anybody on that schedule. Like if you just did a round-robin tournament, I don't think there's one team on there that couldn't beat another team in that top 10.
You might be right. It's that kind of year.
For example,
Georgia
I think
probably
Oregon
stands out more than anybody.
For example, I think Oregon could beat Michigan. I think Michigan could beat Oregon. I think Alabama could beat LSU. Obviously, LSU could beat Alabama. I think Ohio State could beat SC. I think SC could beat Ohio State. I think Georgia can beat Michigan. I think Michigan can beat Georgia.
I agree with you to a certain extent. I like what you're saying to a certain extent. But there still are tiers to that. That's why they're 1 through 10. There's still tiers. I still look at Georgia as head and shoulders above everybody. Even though they had a scare against Kentucky, they're head and shoulders above everybody. Now, what does that ultimately mean to what you're saying? Yeah, everybody can beat everybody, but for some teams, it's got to be more perfect occurrences for them to win. Like you look at Georgia can have a lot of mistakes and still beat everybody in that top 10. Like Ohio State, they can have some mistakes and beat everybody in that top 10. As you go further down, teams have to be more and more perfect. Georgia doesn't have to be perfect, but says the further you get down that list, you got to be perfect.
I will tell you though, the wild card in all of this is who plays their best football a month from now. Yeah. Because there's no way I can prove this. No way I could prove this. But if Michigan played Georgia a week or two after the Iowa game, that game would have looked a lot different than it did. That's just the way I feel about it. And there's no way anybody can convince me otherwise. That game would have looked a lot different than it. Now, everybody's playing by the same rules.
Yeah.
Everybody's playing by the same schedule. But there are teams that are better equipped at handling that layoff than not. You basically are restarting another season. The championship game essentially is the first game of the season. That's how I look at it. Because you haven't played a football game in a month. It's really hard to play your best football. And who starts closer to game time? You know, if you can get going, if you can start playing good football maybe midway through the first quarter as opposed to the third quarter, that team's going to win.
And based on that conversation, it does make sense. And you know what helps that conversation is this. Based on that conversation, once you get to the final, Final Four, once you get to the playoffs, you know the teams that tend to play the best, it's the team that had the best 5-star athletes. Some of these kids are players, Ryan and Amani. They wake up as 5-star players. They wake up as studs. They wake up as guys that are going to be first-round draft picks. The team that has the most of that is Georgia and Alabama, typically year by year, and Ohio State is third. That's why no matter whether there's a layoff in the games that they play, they're still ready. Meanwhile, some teams, you only got a couple guys. So when you get in that, you got to be in a rhythm, got to be in a zone. That's the difference.
All right, coming up next, guys, we are expected to be joined by Amani Toomer, former Michigan great, former New York Football Giants great, Super Bowl champ as well, former second-round pick of the G-Men. We'll talk to him. We'll stick with some college football. And Lions, baby. This thing is going to get real interesting. I wrote a tweet yesterday that the scenario really took off. I don't know, somebody must have retweeted it that's got a huge following or something, but it's unbelievable. It took off like wildfire. So I'll share that with you. All that and more. But first, a message from Custom Health Centers. Get your customized approach to weight loss. Think of all the ways that weight affects your health mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Custom Health Centers is blessed to have over 20,000 success stories. I am one of them currently right now, baby.
17 pounds down, man.
Not 17 yet, but 14.
Okay.
On our way to 17.
I'm speaking the future.
On
I'm speaking
our way
to existence.
There you go. It has been an honor to help so many professional athletes lose weight as well and improve their health. People like Eddie Murray and Rick Mahorn. Start losing weight today. Call Dr. Jason. Custom Health, 844-789-THIN, 844-789-THIN.
Finn.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Looking to buy or sell your home? Well, look no further than my man, Michael Phillips, over at Keller Williams Legacy in Dearborn. And the family thing is very important to them. 23 years he's been in the game. That's why it's number one. Invaluable experience, whether you're a player, whether you're a fan. Helping you buy is his number one priority. Call him now, 313-403-0011, and that's 313-403-0011. Game on.
So while we wait for Amani Toomer to get connected, Braylon, did you see Lane Kiffin had a meeting with his team, and he basically said that he's not going to respond to coaching rumor news.
Right.
But he felt he owed it to his team. You know, there was this report from John Sokoloff. Ole Miss head coach Lane Kiffin plans to step down as Rebels coach on Friday and head to Auburn to become the Tigers' next head coach. Sources say the Tigers haven't officially offered the job to anyone yet. So Lane to Auburn is happening story soon. That did not happen. And then Lane Kiffin fired back at that reporter on Twitter as well. That obviously did not happen. Auburn did hire a head coach today or yesterday. It is not Lane Kiffin.
Didn't.
They didn't hire that guy?
They did not hire anybody. That was a false report.
Oh.
No report. This is still going on. He's still lying to his team. He will be the Auburn head coach.
Who put that fault?
It was a fake account.
Oh.
It was
So
a fake account.
You sent that to me knowing that was a fake account?
I also wrote, I got had. I didn't tweet it. I just wrote it to you guys.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't see that anywhere. Anyway, so Auburn's coach is still a vacancy, but he felt he owed it to his team. Where are you with that? Because how many times have we seen coaches tell their players, look them in the eye and say, I'm not going anywhere, only to go the next day?
Yeah, a lot of Wolf of Wall Street speeches going on. I mean, you know what? With Lane Kiffin, it's one of those things where Auburn's a better look overall in terms of winning the national championship, obviously over Ole Miss. But, you know, it's just the fact that they keep leaving these guys. But before we get into that, can we just talk about how many false reports we're seeing? I've been talking about that for a minute now. We're like, what do you call those? Insiders are sending out things and posting things, and they're not necessarily true, and they don't happen like that. Got to get ahead of this. Just like the guy was the first baseman for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Oh, yeah.
Freddie Freeman.
Doug Gottlieb.
Exactly. Said that, he said this, and this was on the table, and we found out that it wasn't. So, got to stop doing that, man, because now guys are getting called up for it. But with that, Auburn's a better look, but I don't know because I don't want to speculate that Lane Kiffin's going to make the move that we all know he's going to make. So I don't want to do that. But Auburn would be a better move because you're looking at a team that in the last, 2005 to now, that's 17 years, they've won the national championship twice. They've been to the national championship 3 times. They've had a Heisman Trophy winner in that span. They're just a better equipped. They're a better brand, a bigger brand to win a national title over Ole Miss, who hasn't won a national championship since 1962.
That guy's track has been a wild one.
It has.
It's fast.
I mean, would you, if you're a college or pro team, what would you want to do with Lane Kiffin? Why would you want to hire Lane Kiffin? No, I mean, he's a really good football coach. I'm not going to call him a great football coach, but he's a very good football coach. He won't stay with your program longer than 3 years. Why would you hire a guy like that with a track record like that? If you're Auburn,
right,
why would you even want to mess with a guy like that?
Well, one, because Auburn sucks right now. You're looking at SEC right now that everybody's taking that jump. You look at what Texas A&M did now. It didn't work. You know, you can't pay for championships in college unless you're Alabama. But Texas A&M, it didn't work. But everybody's paying for that. Everybody's paying to get that guy in there now. Everybody wants that guy who somebody recognizes his name. Everybody wants that guy that's a little bit younger. You want that guy to come in and win some games for your program. Auburn needs some wins now. Auburn needs to get back in that light. So you're looking at Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin's name comes up a lot because when he goes to programs, they typically win or he typically has success. That USC job, it was one of the only ones he got ran out of time. But other than that, he's had some tempered success in the beginning.
His entire coaching career, he has not lasted longer than 4 years at any one spot. Oakland Raiders, 2 years. Tennessee, 1 year. USC, 4 years. Alabama, 3 years as a offensive coordinator. Florida Atlantic, 3 years. And now this is his 3rd year at Ole Miss, so he's gone.
Yeah.
Right?
He's gone.
3 years and
He's
out.
bored. He gets bored.
Read that list again.
Okay.
Read that list
so
again.
Oakland Raiders for 2 years.
Yep.
Tennessee for 1 year.
Okay.
USC for 4 years.
Okay.
Alabama for 3 years. Florida Atlantic for 3 years. And this is his 3rd year at Ole Miss.
Yeah, if you look at all those jobs, man, all those jobs are in search of the final job. It's kind of like the same thing you said about Mel Tucker. But if you look at his track record, he was trying to hit it in the NFL, didn't work in the NFL. He tried to hit it at Tennessee, didn't work in Tennessee. They're bad. Tennessee, until this year, has been bad. You look at USC for 4 years, still was in the aftermath and wake of what Pete Carroll kind of left there, and USC trying to figure it out. And then, you know, the Atlantic School or whatever,
Florida Atlantic,
FAU. That's only look. Let me relax for a little bit. Let people forget about me for a second until the next job opens up. Then I'll take Ole Miss. Let me get them back decent, and then let me also get to a place where I feel like I can win a national championship.
All right. Speaking of championships, this guy certainly won one in the NFL, a Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl 42. With the New York Football Giants, one of the great careers in Giants history, and of course in University of Michigan history as well. Let's pop him up. The great Amani Toomer.
Yeah.
Amani, how are you, my friend?
Yes, sir.
I'm doing well. You almost forgot about that Michigan. I don't
know.
No.
Braylon's been talking some stuff about me. I know.
No. Always show number love. Amani, what's going on? Thanks for joining us, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
We're so excited, man. Obviously, this is the Ohio State, Michigan week. This is the game week. Ohio State, Michigan. It's the game week. Just, you know, same thing we started with Charles yesterday. Just talk about what this game means to you, and when you hear Ohio State, what are you thinking?
Well, I think it's a great rivalry. It's one of the best. To be completely honest with you, when I came from California, even though my dad is from Ohio, I think my junior year when we lost to Ohio State, I had cousins that I gave tickets to the game to come to me, and they for some reason they got the tickets, didn't know that they got the tickets from me, and then next you went to Michigan and they lost today, and my cousin like stuck her tongue out at me and like, I'm thinking, I gave you these tickets. You gave me, it's my cousin too. So I was like, yeah, this rivalry runs deep, but I really enjoy it. It brings out the best in both of us, and I think that for us to win last year kind of revived the whole rivalry, because when you get beat 10 times in a row or whatever it was,
ouch,
it's not really a rivalry anymore.
Talking to yeah, no doubt about it. Amani, when you look at this team, and part one of the question, how closely do you follow this year's team, and do you think they have what it takes to go down to Columbus? And ironically enough, the last time Michigan beat Ohio State in Columbus, Blake Corum was 3 weeks old.
Oof.
Yeah, hopefully Blake Corum is healthy. I haven't heard about his injury that he had last week, but you know, if there's any team that can do it, it's got to be a team like Michigan that's physical, and that it's going to be a big game for a quarterback. It's going to be a big game for our wideouts. It's going to be a situation where, you can name for yourself in this game. All the Heisman Trophy winners in Michigan history have all had memorable moments in this Ohio State game. So if Blake Corum has an idea, wants to be a Heisman winner, forget about what all happened leading up to this moment. This is the moment where he has to shine and step forward and be the Heisman Trophy winner. He has an opportunity this weekend to just do that.
What's your favorite moment? What's your favorite memory in this game? It could be one of yours at Toombs. It can be somebody else's. It could be something you saw and was like, oh, yeah, that's the place where I'm going. It could be even in the NFL where you look back and was like, yo, that young fella balling. What's a moment for you that you look at in this rivalry?
Oh, mine is very easy. I was on the fence about where I was going to go to college. And when I saw Desmond hit that Heisman pose, I was like, oh, yeah.
There it is.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to go. They remember they used to let us wear the black spat and have shoes taped up. It was tight. But, things didn't turn out that way when I got there in terms of, letting us have that type of freedom of what we could dress and wear. But on our uniforms. But I that was it. Definitely that for me, the Heisman pose game.
So that brought the California kid all the way over to Michigan, huh? That was it, huh? It's 30. By the way, it's 31 years ago today that Desmond hit that pose, Amani.
Yeah, thanks.
Sorry, man. This is what he does, man. He brings up those old quotes, man.
I'm old, man. I was 29 years old when that happened. I love those days.
Yesterday. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know. My bad. About this team, and we talk about it all the time here. All they do is it's ground and pound. That's what Jim Harbaugh does. What does that do to the psyche of the wide receivers that really aren't getting the action that they really want? How do you stay in the game?
Honestly, I remember I played in the Tim Biaka-Patuka game where he ran crazy.
There you go.
It was almost 200 and some yards.
313.
Yeah.
313. And
313.
I just remember, you know what? It's not going to be my day, but we're not going to lose. It's not going to be my day, but it's not going to be their day either. So,
yeah.
It was one of those situations where you want to beat Ohio State so bad. Or they call them Ohio State or they're the team down south? I can't remember.
I call them Mo State. They don't have power over me. I call them Mo State. Like, I'm a grown man. I don't have to say that team down south. Ohio State.
So that was the game. And then we just wanted to beat them so bad. They had so many first rounders on that team. They had so much talent.
Yeah.
And I just remember Big Daddy Wilkerson, Sean Springs.
Terry Glenn.
Eddie George, Terry Glenn.
Yikes.
I can't remember the other guys.
Orlando Pace was young.
End. Yeah,
he was like a sophomore.
And we ended their career on a bad note, and that was just we had a struggle. We struggled that year, but it was still all good.
You talked about something interesting. You talked about Chimanga Biaka-Patuka in that game, 96 draft. He went 8th overall to the Carolina Panthers. You talk about him, but that's what this game is about. It's about players making plays or having games that weren't necessarily going to do that. You take Touchdown Tim, for instance. That was supposed to be Tyrone Wheatley's Heisman Trophy campaign, and T. Wheatley gets hurt, breaks his ankle, and now he's on the map. Have a 313. Who on Michigan's team? What player, what position were you looking at? Somebody can make a play that's not necessarily thought about. Because I think it could be Donovan Edwards. That's just on me.
I think it's either going to be Corum or maybe even the quarterback. I mean, one of those guys. Because I have a feeling that the quarterback really hasn't shown us all what he can do yet. And this is the type of game where you realize your talent. When you realize this is it, everybody's watching. And sometimes it just brings out the best in people.
Yeah, I like that Blake Corum. I like the quarterback. He is looking for a moment, and this definitely is that place.
Hey, Amani, I wanted to ask you because you had one of the great careers in the NFL at that wide receiver position as well, in the New York Football Giants Ring of Honor. So steady, and so many players that ultimately went to Michigan, were fans of yours in the NFL and said, "Where's this guy? Where'd this guy go to college? I want to go there."
This is true.
Talk about that as as a whole. And I have to ask you, I'm sorry to do it to you, but what's going on with the Giants? How did they lose to the Lions last week?
Oh, man, I mean, I thought we were having a nice conversation. Now you got to bring up old stuff. Why you got to bring up old stuff? That was last week.
Last week, baby.
I'm sorry about that.
But you know what it is? I'm a big Dan Campbell fan. Dan Campbell was actually drafted by the Giants, and I was in my third year when he was a rookie. So that was one of the things that I really.
Is he a wild man?
He's a great dude, man. He is a guy's guy. I just remember him really. It was like one of the years we. He was like a second-year player, and Sean Payton was our coach, and he came out and was like, wanted to give a speech before. He wanted to give a speech before the first thing at training camp, and it was just random for a player to do that. But he gave a speech and focused the whole team in. So I always loved him.
Oh, wow.
He's always a good dude, man. He was the real deal. I can't say enough good things about Dan Campbell as a person. But I just feel like, I really didn't go to Michigan for the football. I went to the best school with the best football program. And that was kind of it. I didn't really, it was, and at the time, there was not really any school even close. Like, cause I didn't want to go to a school where nobody else would graduate. So that's why I kind of wanted to make sure that, most of the black athletes at Michigan all graduate, which is something that people don't recognize as much as they should.
Talk about the Super Bowl, man, the win over, and I know it's been a while ago, but now because all these catches are coming up, and you and I talked about this the other day, the big catch is starting to happen again, so instantly, David Tyree's name gets brought up in the catch over Rodney Harrison. Just talk about that moment. Like, you don't even have to talk about the whole game, but talk about that particular moment, and then obviously the slant go to Plex, get the Super Bowl win. You had been there before, lost to the Baltimore Ravens, but now you get the win. Just talk about that moment.
Well, I mean, I was wide open. I don't know why Eli didn't call me. I could have moved the chains for the first down.
This is true.
But you know what it was? It was we were. I remember me and Plexico talked about it. We were both running. I was running the in on the sticks, and he was running the deeper in on the backside, and Dave Tyree was running the post. And I remember looking back at Eli, fully expecting the ball to come to me, and the next thing you know, Eli drops his shoulder. He gets out of the rush and drops his shoulder, and he lets the ball fly. And I'm like, dang it, because it was 3rd and 10. I was like, 4th and 10, man. This is going to be tough. And then I see David. I'm like, oh, maybe he might catch it. And then
not after that week of practice he had.
Yeah, because he had, oh, man. Talk about beat him up ball. He was getting beat up by the ball on Friday.
Beat him up ball.
He was dropping everything. So it was one of the plays that I'll never forget, and it was Super Bowl history, and I was glad to be a part of it. I was glad to be a part of a team that won a Super Bowl instead of being on the losing side like it was when we played the Ravens in 2001.
Ouch. Tell me about it. Made a whole Netflix story come out about you guys losing.
Hey, Amani, before we let you out of here, man, who do you like on Saturday? Well, you got a final score or anything like that?
I got Michigan 21-17.
Boom.
Ooh,
nice.
I'll take it. I'll take it. And I know it's Warren, Michigan, and not California, but I am wearing, I don't know if you can see this, my De La Salle hat. But this is
pawn that little thing off on me. That's not real De La Salle.
Hey,
De La Salle, baby. Warren, Michigan. Warren, Michigan.
It's here in Michigan.
You know what they have a lot of out here in New York? A lot of bootleggers. That's a bootleg.
Bootleggers.
De La Salle.
Hey, man, hold on. De La Salle's been taking some losses recently. Y'all not the same De La Salle back in the early 90s, so pipe down with all that. Pipe down with all that. It's back-to-back state champions over here.
Yeah, all great.
This is true.
Hey, even the great Tom Brady hasn't won off every Super Bowl. He lost a couple of them. You know
he's won more than he's lost.
That's great.
This is true.
Hey, Amani, thanks, man. We certainly appreciate it. And
appreciate you, buddy.
Happy for all your success.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. I'm really happy that Braylon's doing so well, and your show is doing so well and so well received. Hope I can be on again.
Of
to
course.
show my support for what you guys are doing over there.
Love
Thanks,
that.
Amani.
Love
Appreciate
that.
you,
Thank
brother.
you
Love
so
you, man.
much.
Appreciate you coming on.
That's great. The great Amani Toomer, everybody. Fantastic stuff. Look, as a Michigan guy growing up, I mean, he's one of those players that you just absolutely loved. And I, over the top loved Amani Toomer because of his name, right? Amani, Ermanni.
Yeah.
Does that make
It
any
does.
sense? You know, when you're 12 years old or 13
Yeah.
years old, you're just
Ermanni Toomer.
grabbing on to anything you can, right?
My big sister's name was actually Amani, and they actually knew each other, which made it even funnier. But the great thing that I loved about Amani at them times, like you guys remember, like they weren't throwing a ton of passes.
They never do.
They weren't throwing a ton of passes. They really aren't throwing a ton of passes now, but they weren't throwing a ton of passes. Every time either he or Mercury Hayes, who was damn good on our team
God,
too, they
what a
hated
great
each other
play.
too. They were such like intense rivals. They were so good together. But every catch was huge. Like if you look at his I want to say his yards per catch, he was 20.6 his junior year in yards per catch. Every catch you have is 20.6 yards. That means every catch you're catching is a first down, it's a touchdown, it's a third down conversion. Like all his catches were major. That's the one thing I remember.
Every name that you guys throw out in Michigan
It
history.
takes you back.
Honestly, I hear them. Honestly, I hear them from Keith Jackson. Honestly,
Rob Payne was another name that Keith
every
loved.
single name you throw out, Keith Jackson. It sounds like Keith Jackson talking to me. God, I miss that guy.
That's so great.
God, I miss him.
What a loss. Guys, I'm way over, so I'm going to take a break. Come right back. We'll wrap up hour number 1. Hour number 2, all Lions. Plus, I believe we have to do our picks, Maz, don't we?
We do. I got them on here.
We do have to do our picks. We have to do. Are we doing fill in the blank Friday today?
No.
We're not doing
We're
fill in the
not.
blank Friday today. That's fine. That's okay. I've got something Lions related for you that I think is doable. I'll have that for you. But first, a message from Moneyball.
Check out Money Bear Sportswear. It is your first stop, last stop for sportswear, all type of gear. Love it. Be there not tomorrow. Got a little excited. Be there on Friday, though. Black Friday, we'll be there from 11 to 12. Register to win game day tickets, Moneyball apparel, and gift cards. Man, you get a chance to win all this if you come in on Friday. Also got the discount code right there, as you see on the screen. 20 to 50% off of clothes, the hoodies, the jogging pants, the hats, the socks. Everything is fire, and it also has a discount. Come on down on the Black Friday sale at Moneyball Southfield.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
What's a winter wonderland if you can't shop, eat, and play? Lucky for you, you can do it all at the Downtown Detroit Markets, Cadillac Lodge, and the new winter version of the Monroe Street Midway, all located just across the street from Campus Martius Park. Find the fun at deckedoutdetroit.com.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
With the holiday season here, Swiss Insurance wants to remind you to insure those gifts of jewelry or collectibles. In the last 2 weeks, Swiss has saved its clients an average of 26% on their home insurance premiums, increasing their coverage. That's a lot of money to free up for the Thanksgiving season. Tell you like that. Happy Thanksgiving from Swiss Insurance and Mark, and go blue.
All right, guys, just to put a bow on this Michigan-Ohio State talk, it is just one of the great games in sports, and I just cannot wait for Saturday. I think Michigan's going to play well. I hope to God either Blake Corum or Donovan Edwards is able to give it a go, and not only give it a go, but really play well.
Remember what Hassan Haskins did last year?
Yeah.
What did he get, 5 touchdowns?
5 touchdowns, but remember also
Blake Corum
2
got
of
up,
the
too.
big plays were from Blake Corum in that
Right
game.
sideline.
Yeah. He had 2
and the one over the middle.
Yeah, 2 big plays in that one. So you're going to need your full roster in order to beat Ohio State. I hope they could do it. I think they can do it, but we'll just have to wait and see.
100%. We'll have to see what happens on Saturday. We'll have to see who are the guys in the lineup, who are the guys that are actually playing, and then we'll make our assessments from there. But what I've seen out of Michigan this year, their defense plays tremendously well in the second half. They've gotten it done. They get going in the second half. It's just the first half that scares me, Ryan and Amani. They got to get going in that first half. And maybe you just come out. Maybe you swing the pendulum in a different direction. Maybe you come out first play of the game and you throw a bomb to Clemens. Maybe you come out, you throw a play action, and you throw the ball down the field, get it going. Got to get Ohio State off their feet. You got to get Ohio State guessing outside of what you usually do. Last year, one of the biggest things for Michigan to get going in that game was they ran the reverse jet sweep where they came back the opposite way. They hadn't ran that play all year. It got Ohio State off their feet, and Michigan kept them off their feet the rest of the game.
Braylon Edwards, I have a question for you.
I may have an answer.
Michigan wins the toss and does what?
Receive.
Not defer, not get it in the second half. Receive.
Can I ask you something before you do that?
Yeah.
What the hell's the difference between defer and kick it off?
I think it's a huge deal. I do.
What is it?
Oh, if you say kick off, you don't get the it's something in the rule book. If you say kick off, you get defer.
Then you don't get to at the end of the half. Yeah, you have to kick off twice.
You have to kick off twice.
Oh, honestly?
Yes, honestly, it's something in the rule book.
Yeah,
that's why you defer to the second half.
Defer to the second half, which means basically I will receive it in the second half. That's all you're really saying with the language. But in terms of the language as it is, for me, you receive it in this game because right now, what's the big knock on Michigan? What's the knock on Michigan besides their schedule sucks? It's J.J. McCarthy hasn't shown you he can throw the ball down the field. It's that they haven't shown you a vertical passing game. It's that they don't believe they can score the points outside of running the ball all game with Blake Corum, and they start amazingly slow. What better way to get your troops going? Because a lot of those guys in Michigan probably believe that too because they haven't done it. What better way to get your troops going than to go down first possession in Columbus and score a touchdown to quiet that place and get that thing rocking? I think that's where I'm at with it.
And I'm not as clear. I'm going to go with you on this,
right?
Because I'm not as clear. I don't know what I'd do because I think right now the strength is the defense, believe it or not. And if you could somehow get a stop early, first stop of the game, a 3-and-out or something like that, and then then you get the ball, everybody's settled in, and you get the ball to start the second half. I think that's a winning formula. However, if Ohio State comes and jumps on you 7-0 right off the bat, then you might get out of your comfort zone a little bit. You might start forcing the little things here and there. So I'll go with you. Take the ball and take the lead.
The other thing about that, because I definitely agree, the strength has been, Michigan's strength has been the defense all year. You look at what they've done in the second half. You look at what they've done to teams. The strength is the defense. But that's even more so why you go with taking the ball first, having a chance to go down and score in a hostile environment, the most hostile environment in the Big Ten, on the road. Because you know what that's going to do? That's going to get your defense ready, Ryan and Amani. If I'm sitting there and I'm one of the players on stage, I'm Mozzie Smith, I'm Mike Morris, I'm Sam Risdale, and I'm Turner, and I'm watching this Michigan offense go down the field, handle Ohio State at the Columbus Horseshoe. Now I'm excited to go on defense and get that 3-and-out, to go and get that stop, to play a little bit harder at the line of scrimmage, to go and rush a little harder. You're going to get your defense going. That's why I say go with the offense, not to mention Ohio State's defense ain't showing me nothing.
I don't remember the last time I watched a football game and someone takes the ball. What is it? 99%.
I think Jim Harbaugh takes the ball sometimes.
I don't remember. I do not remember the last game I saw that a team won the toss and took the ball.
I know one. Remember
Sal?
No. Remember last year we were doing the Lions pregame show on Monday Night Football?
Yeah, the Packers.
And Braylon said, you said this.
Yeah,
during
I said
the pregame show.
ball.
You said you win the toss, you take the ball, and you go down there and score. Lions won the toss. They elected to receive. They went down the field, scored 7-0, boom, like that.
And then what happened? At the end of the game, with 2 minutes left, they had a chance to win that game, and they threw a pick in the end zone. But you see that energy? It fires up because when your defense isn't used, like when your defense isn't used to seeing that, like this is a natural reaction to a defense, especially Michigan. It's like, all right, game start, Michigan has the ball, cool. Michigan's gonna pucks around and not gonna score. All right, cool. There it is. They got one first down. You guys ready to go out there and do that? Like that's their attitude. But you look at a Michigan team and you watch them go 75 yards and score. You're like, oh, okay. Oh, it's different energy. Oh, they scored. Now that energy propels you on the field. I'm telling you, man, it's different.
What would Ohio State do if they win?
I think they take the ball and think they're all sweet.
I think Ohio State doesn't believe in Michigan's offense. So what they would do, they would go on defense. They would go on defense. They believe they will stop Michigan 3 and the same thing you said. They believe they will stop Michigan, go 3 and out, then put their offense in a short field. They will score a touchdown, and then they would just run the crowd up. Like that's what they would think.
All right, guys. Great hour number 1. Let's have a great hour number 2 coming up. My Lions scenario that gets them in the playoffs. It's a really good one. It's a really doable one. I really believe this is a very doable thing. We'll show it to you. We'll give you the roadmap. We'll do it next. We'll do it live. But first, a message from SMA.
The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and also substance use disorder. Their podcast, This is the S Word, and we say it every day. The S Word is for stigma, trying to destigmatize substance abuse, trying to destigmatize mental health, but also providing you the conversation, and the information on thesportsma.com. Sean Jordan does an amazing job, but look, trying to help people out in the community, a strong community, if we're all together going the same way. Go to thesportsma.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Only at Big Frog can you get yourself a free Woodward Sports t-shirt all month long at Big Frog in Novi. Stop in today, tell them we sent you, and they will hook you up by printing you out one right on the spot.
Ribbit.
Oh, yeah. So stop in today at Big Frog in Novi, or you can always check them out online at bigfrog.com/Novi.
Oh, yeah. I already thought about that. That was one of the first things I thought of after this game on the plane ride home. Is like, man, this place is going to be, because it's been good. I mean, it's been electric, and I can only imagine now. I already know it's going to be on fire.
So that was Dan Campbell talking about Ford Field on Thursday. This is a tweet from Tim Twentyman. Lions fans might want to arrive early to Ford Field, trending towards a crowd of more than 66,000 for Thanksgiving, which is tracking toward being the second highest Lions attendance in Ford Field history, only behind that Monday Night Football game against the Chicago Bears back in 2011, a game in which the crowd got Chicago to jump off sides 5 times in the first quarter alone.
Yeah, you also got to look at
incredible.
I think another thing that's playing a factor in this is look at the Thanksgiving Day parade. I mean, when's the last time they really had a true Thanksgiving Day parade in which they prepared for? You've had COVID years, et cetera. People were kind of nervous to go to Thanksgiving parade last year. But now you're looking at a situation where Thanksgiving Day parade is going to be bigger because it's going to be warmer. This is the first one really since COVID's hit. So that's gone. This is their Lions' chance to win 4 games in a row. They're coming off that electricity. They're coming off that energy and like I said, it's not that cold outside. Be prepared to deal with a crowd of more than 66,000 because a lot of people that are going to the parade, they're not going to Ford Field. So I would prepare for upwards of 100,000.
Remember the first game of the year against the Eagles? Do you remember we were at the Detroit store after our pregame?
Yep.
And that crowd was outstanding. Amped up. The Eagles couldn't even hear themselves. Remember what they said after that game? The Lions crowd really played a factor in that game, and the Lions obviously played really hard all day with Philadelphia. And now they go on a 3-game streak, and it's Thanksgiving Day, and it's national TV. Detroit is going to be that Ford Field will maybe sound finally like the Silverdome.
You forgot the most important part. And because they're playing for potentially way down the line, somewhere buried under the truth, they're playing for a playoff spot.
Yep.
Here's how they get there. Okay?
Yeah.
Here's how they get there. Legitimately. Now, I tweeted this out yesterday.
We even said it on the show.
It is totally blown up. I've got like 1,900 likes on that. I think this is like my most active tweet in the history of my Twitter. But the Lions' roadmap to 9-8. Their must-win games are against the Jags at home, at Carolina, and the Chicago Bears at home. And then all they have to do is win 2 of these 4. Buffalo, Minnesota, at the Jets, and at Green Bay. Now, we don't know what Green Bay is going to be like in the final week of the regular season. Mike White has been named the starter in New York for the Jets.
We got to talk about that.
He'll have probably a really good game this first week. And then when you get game film on the guy, that second game is never as good as that first game, and so forth. There's a legitimate shot here at 9-8 because you'll hold the tiebreakers over the Washington Commanders and the New York Giants. Those are 2 teams that you're competing against now for playoff spots. So, and I think 9-8 is going to do it.
Seahawks will have the break over you, though.
Yeah, but and that's fine. So you got Dallas.
Seattle. Dallas will have the break on you.
Hold on a second.
What? Oh. Dallas, Seattle, and then you've got Dallas, Seattle. Let's just say Seattle gets in. Dallas, Seattle, and then you've got 1 playoff spot left for the Giants, the Commanders, and the Lions to fight over.
Yeah.
At 9-8.
And we all talked about the Giants' schedule. It's daunting going forward, and they were playing with house money. Now everyone has seen their hand. And they're going to be a lot easier to beat going down the line.
Let's just look at the New York Giants. 7-3 right now, okay? How do they get to 9-8? They have to finish 2-5 over their next 7 games. You ready for this?
Yep.
Okay, they play at Dallas on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Loss?
Yeah.
Okay. Then at Commanders.
Loss.
At Vikings.
Loss.
Home against the Colts.
Win.
I'm sorry. Let me back this up. At Cowboys.
Loss.
Home against the Commanders.
Win.
Okay.
1-1.
Home against the Eagles.
Loss. 1-2.
Okay. Then at the Commanders.
We'll split with there. So 2-2.
Yep. I've got 2-3 right now. Dallas, Washington, Eagles, Commanders. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're right.
2-2.
Okay, 2-2. Then at the Vikings.
2-3.
Then home against the Colts.
3-3.
At Eagles.
3-4.
3-4. So that would be 10 games.
Yeah.
So you've got them beating the Colts. You've got them beating
splitting with Washington, and beating. What's the last team he gave me?
At the Eagles.
No, they're going to get swept by them.
So 2-5. So I don't know if this is good or not.
Doesn't matter. I got them splitting with Washington and beating the Colts.
So that's 2 wins.
Who else did they play again?
At Dallas.
Okay.
Eagles.
Yeah.
At the Eagles.
Yeah.
At the Vikings.
That's a loss, yeah.
And
I guess 2 wins then.
Yeah, 2 wins. That's insane. That is insane.
They're coming back to the field.
Yeah, that's how it gets done there. That's how it gets done. And I just truly believe that the New York Football Giants, when it's all said and done, will not make the playoffs.
Now, you're looking at the Lions schedule. What do you got them winning in reality? You, personally.
In reality, I've got them. I've got them winning 5 games. They can't lose to the Jets. Look, if you're a playoff team, you cannot lose to the Jags, Carolina, or Chicago. You just can't do it.
Correct.
If you lose to one of those 3 teams, you don't deserve to be in the playoffs.
Justin Fields might be done for the year.
Absolutely. You don't deserve to be in the playoffs if you can't beat those 3 teams. So you got that withstanding. I don't know what's going to happen against the Buffalo Bills.
They probably will lose.
Probably. They played the Vikings tough in their place.
Yes.
They should have won.
They could beat the Vikings.
They could beat the Vikings.
Yes.
And then you're telling me you need 1 road win at the Jets or at Green Bay. I think it's very doable. I think 8-9 at the worst. 9-8 at the best.
Let's say if they go 8-9. Are you still happy as a Lion fan?
Yes, I am.
Because you won 3 freaking games last year.
Yes, I am.
Are you happy with Dan Campbell?
That's a great improvement.
Yeah.
It's a great improvement. You feel probably pretty good about their team. You're a little disappointed, probably. Now, if 9-8 would not get them in,
it probably won't.
If 9-8 doesn't get them in, I'm not as disappointed at 8-9.
But you're there all the way to the end of the season.
If you are there and 9-8 gets you a chance to, if you're playing the Packers in Week 18 for a playoff spot, and you lose, I'll be real disappointed.
Especially with Jordan Love at quarterback.
How can you not, right?
Jordan Love will be the quarterback by then. He will. Next year is another year for the Packers and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I fully think Jordan Love will get reps this year for the Packers. And when you get a minute, when you screw your mic back in, I want you to go to...
I'm in. It's fine.
Okay. I was just going to tell you to go to another team to find out their schedule. No, there's another schedule I want to look at.
Jets?
No.
In the NFC?
Yeah, it was an NFC team. Damn it.
Seattle?
No. Never mind.
All right.
It'll come to me.
Atlanta?
No. We forgot about Atlanta, by the way.
Yeah, but I'm not so worried about Atlanta for whatever reason. I just I don't know. I'm just not so worried about Atlanta. I should be. Atlanta's got the Commanders, the Steelers, at the Saints, at the Ravens, the Cardinals, and then
I know
the
who I wanted
Bucs.
to ask you for. The Rams, because I want to know where the Lions are picking in the draft. As far as who the hell believed this?
Me.
That the Lions were going to be in the hunt, and we're still looking at mock drafts because of the Rams pick.
Look, the Rams go at the Chiefs.
That's a loss. Right now they're 3-7, right?
They were 3-7.
Okay, so that makes them 3-8.
And then they go home against Seattle.
Loss.
Home against the Raiders.
3-9. I'll give them a win there. 4-9.
At the Packers.
4-10.
Broncos.
5-10.
At Chargers.
5-11.
At Seahawks.
5-12. They're a 5-win team.
Yeah.
Do you know they brought in a practice squad quarterback that's going to be active this week? And they cut Darrell Henderson. They have Cam Akers, who they hate, and some other guy that I never even heard of.
Unbelievable, man.
Their team is stripped down to the nuts and bolts. Of course, no Cooper Kupp. They're a disaster.
Unbelievable.
Matthew Stafford probably ain't going to play anymore.
No.
Why play him?
And Cooper Kupp won't either.
No. Why play him?
Guys, we'll go around the NFL. We'll do it next. Also, our pick segment. And Dave Beachnau, the executive director of the Detroit Sports Commission, going to join us talking about the Final Four in 2027 headed to Detroit and Ford Field. But first, a message from the Foaling Warehouse.
Yes, sir. Down in Hamtramck, and you got to go and you got to get your foal on. 2 ways to play, $12 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation. You get it for 2 hours and run you $120, but you can put 10 or 12 people on that lane. How about a drink? That's right. They got multiple full bars, over 100 beers to offer, and the mystery $2 beer machine. You got to go down there and check it out. Bring your own food in or even have it delivered. Check them out at foldingwarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh, wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries. What will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Planet Fitness is the official studio sponsor of Woodward Sports. It's also home to the Judgment Free Zone, where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere, all for $10 a month.
Only $10?
Yeah, only $10. Or you can do yourself a favor, upgrade to the Black Card for unlimited guest privileges, the hydro massage, and so much more. Join in club today or check them out at planetfitness.com.
.com. Man.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a way to start the holiday.
Oh, man.
Yikes.
All right. We'll get back on track here.
Let's get back on track.
All right, gang. Here we go. We're going to go around the NFL now. Tom Mazawey, give us the best news and notes you got, buddy.
You bet, buddy. You bet. Let's start with the Jets. The Jets are going to have a new quarterback this weekend. It's not going to be Zach Wilson anymore. Robert Saleh gets up on the press conference and says, I'm starting Mike White as quarterback. Not only that, he makes Joe Flacco the backup quarterback.
Wow.
And Zach Wilson will be a healthy scratch. And that's what he had to say about Zach, because they said, what about Zach?
Zach's career here is not over. I know that's going to be the narrative. The young man needs a reset. That's Robert Saleh.
A reset. Then they go to Mike White, and they're like, hey, Mike, how do you feel about yourself?
Why do you think you were under the radar for so long?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, that's definitely the scouting departments and across the league and what their interpretation of me is. And then I've told you guys countless times I have 100% confidence in myself. So if you ask me, I should have been a first overall pick. But that's neither here nor there. That's 4 years ago. Try to get my mind off of that and then be in the here and now and execute what my job is right now. And I'll look back on that 40 years down the road where I'm talking to my buddies and we're talking about the good old days.
I love this kid. I love this guy. I know he's been under the radar. He threw for 400 yards in his first game last year, and then the second game, it wasn't so good. It was against the Buffalo Bills. They kind of beat him up, and that's all they gave him. One chance. This guy with an opportunity can be. I would take him here in Detroit right now, and I told you that last year, and I would take Mike White as a backup quarterback here to get Jared Goff. And I think eventually he could become a starter. I believe in this kid.
Well, you know, the reason why he didn't go number one overall because he wasn't number one overall caliber ability. He could say what he wanted to say. And I don't think this is exactly what Robert Saleh wanted after sitting Zach Wilson down for having too much mouth at the podium. But neither here nor there, I support the decision. I like the decision by Robert Saleh. And the decision is this. The guys in that locker room, they trust you as a head coach to make the best decision. They trust you as a guy to put them in a position to win games, to win situations. They look at you. They look at where you're at right now like, yeah, we have a chance to be in the playoffs. We have a chance to make something happen this season. How are you going to handle the situation? Robert Saleh looked at it that way. He said it's not about necessarily hurting his pride or I would say getting a setback for him mentally for a couple months or a couple games. They trying to get to the playoffs. He wants to put them in a position and not lose this locker room. And I think a move like this, after what Zach Wilson said after that game, which we clearly know he's not playing well, this shows that, you know what? I don't care who you are. It's about the team. It's about us moving forward. We got a chance. We can't squander it around with a guy who's not playing his best football.
And we'll move on. In other quarterback news, we got another guy that's going to start. Well, he was a former Jet. His name is Sam Darnold. He will start for the Carolina Panthers instead of Baker Mayfield. Supposedly, this is his opportunity to show other teams what he's all about, because next year the Panthers are going to go in a different direction again. And the Texans bench, Davis Mills, they're going with Kyle Allen. You remember him back. He had some great games for Washington a few years back. But they go to Kyle Allen in Houston. There's a lot of teams that have some pretty bad quarterbacks right now.
Man, pretty bad quarterbacks indeed, man. I don't know. Some bad quarterbacks seeing hit. What do you got to say about that one?
I think both these guys can't play. Nobody wants Sam Darnold. He cannot play. I don't think Zach Wilson can play.
Already?
Yeah, I don't think. I don't think Zach Wilson can play because, one, he's just not very good in the NFL. Some guys, their game just don't translate. And once you get a knock on you, personality type, like a Baker Mayfield, you don't shake that. Zach Wilson will never shake the personality characteristics, how guys feel about him.
He can't shake it.
I don't think his team likes him. You see some of the things that those guys are doing on Instagram.
Yeah, they love Mike White.
Yeah, they do. They do.
They say he's got the dog in him. I mean, there's a lot of guys coming out that look really excited about this upcoming week. They play the Chicago Bears, and Justin Fields might be done. Jets can get back on the winning ledger. You know who can play quarterback?
Who?
Patrick Mahomes. You know what his record is against the AFC West?
He's only lost 2 games, right?
24-3.
Okay, lost 3.
Is that unbelievable?
It's crazy.
24-3 against his own division.
That sounds like Aaron Rodgers type record.
It's very impressive.
Yeah.
It's kind of like he hit his stride for the AFC West right when the AFC West kind of everybody was trying to figure it out. Like Denver was on the skids. You look at the Chargers trying to figure out. A-Lin was a head coach there for some years. I'm trying to figure it out. And now, what's it saying? McDaniels in with the Raiders. Right time, right place. And he's just whooping them every year.
And sticking with the Chiefs, Travis Kelce passed the great Gronk for most catches, most 100-yard games by a tight end in NFL history. Who's your number one tight end in NFL history? I know there's been some great ones. Let's just stay with these two guys, Gronk or Kelce. Are they 1 and 1A?
I'd have to go with Gronk just because of the big moments. The big moments, those big third down catches, those big catches in playoffs. I'd have to go with Gronk just based on big moments. But I think Kelce's more talented.
Yeah, I would say Kelce. I think you're looking what he's doing over years. I mean, Gronk, yes, he has more Super Bowl wins. He has more Super Bowl moments. But for Kelce, 6 years starting in this league, man, every year, 12, 1,300. He's over 10, 11 touchdowns. He has those big moments as well, whether they're in the AFC Championship, whether they're in the Super Bowl. He has moments and he has a ring. So I just think, sometimes you don't have to get to, you don't have to get to 4 rings or 3 rings to be better. I think Travis is better.
And let's go to our power rankings for this week. After week 11, the Detroit Lions have moved up into the top 20, folks. Pro Football Talk has got them at number 19.
Are they going to be on the left side of this graphic
soon? They're going to
be
if they continue to win, for sure.
Are you going to move from the right to the left side of this graph?
They were 32nd, guys.
Yeah, they were. Just 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
4 weeks ago. 4
Pretty
weeks
good,
ago.
huh?
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it.
Now, who's the new number 1 team?
The Chiefs.
Remember the Vikings were number 1?
Hey, let me say this about the Lions, though. Injury report out. Evan Brown, Charles Harris, Jonah Jackson, Jeff Okudah, and Josh Paschal out.
Paschal's been out for the last 3 weeks.
I know. You take an injured. What did Mike Tannenbaum say on draft night?
Forget Mike Tannenbaum.
No. What did Mike Tannenbaum say on draft night?
Don't draft hurt players.
If you draft an injured college player,
he'll be injured now.
You will get an injured NFL player.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
I rest my case.
Very difficult. Very difficult.
Hopefully the kid can bounce back.
All right, guys. We're going to talk to Dave Beachnau from the Detroit Sports Commission, talking about this Final Four, baby, 2027 Ford Field.
How did he pull this off?
Here we come. We're going to ask him next, but first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. Thinking of a new Cadillac? Les Stanford will take care of your first payment. That's right. Your first payment is on Les. Plus, Les Stanford has $500 in cyber cash on all Chevys. Time to treat yourself at Les Stanford in Dearborn. Go to lesstanford.com. lesstanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Hey guys, get out the Big Boy. Hopefully you were there yesterday for 99-cent Big Boys with a Pepsi. If you didn't get that, you could still get those great burgers, the bacon blue, the chili cheeseburger, and those loaded fries. Nacho fries, chili cheese fries, baked potato fries. Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
All right, guys, we're very excited about this, and it feels like it kind of came out of left field. I don't remember anyone talking about this, but now a lot of people are talking about it, and so are we. With Dave Beachnau, the executive director of the Detroit Sports Commission. The Final Four in 2027 is coming right here to Detroit, baby.
Good work, good work.
Dave, thanks so much for your time. Basic question, how did you do it?
Well, obviously it was a lot of work. It was 12 months in the process. A ton of collaboration among our stakeholders with the Detroit Lions at Ford Field, Michigan State University as our host institution, the mayor's office, and we showed up in Houston on October 31st and put together a compelling message to the men's basketball committee. And we walked out of the room feeling very, very confident. As they say, we left it all on the floor. And we just had to sit and wait till yesterday afternoon at noon to get the news.
It feels pretty rare, with new stadiums feel like they get these big events. Las Vegas is going to get this event for the first time. Indianapolis gets the event a lot. New Orleans and some of these other places down south get it a lot. But it does feel like it came out of left field. Is this something that you guys have been trying to get for a long time, and finally that presentation just kind of stuck with them?
Yeah, and we've gone after it each year. It's been out for bid. I think the difference was, Detroit's in a much different place now than it was in 2009 or really any years since then. And I think that message really resonated. And part of the committee came in to Detroit in August with some of the NCAA staff, and I think it was a real eye-opener for them to see how far along the city has come. So, the message was Detroit is back. We've got a ton of momentum, and it's real. All you have to do is point to April when the NFL announced the draft was coming to Detroit, and the USGA followed that up with 8 future championships at Oakland Hills. So we've got a ton of momentum right now, and the collaboration, like I said, among the key stakeholders in our community is nothing like we've had in recent history.
Talking to Dave Beachnau, the executive director of the Detroit Sports Commission. Dave, how much, we've heard this argument in the past for a lot of these big events. Well, Detroit doesn't have the hotel space that a lot of these other big cities has. What can you say about that? And obviously, Detroit has the hotel space required to host a Final Four.
Yeah, we checked that box, but no question there was a concern with the NCAA, in previous bid efforts. But, in our pipeline, as we call it, we've got several hotels that are under development. So by 2027, we'll have another 800 or so hotel rooms downtown and others on the way. And that was the message that we delivered. And, Detroit, the downtown hotel Detroit market is extremely hot right now. There are a lot of developers looking at Detroit, and for very good reason. There's just so much going on in our city today.
Hey, Dave, Braylon Edwards here. You guys are starting to get things here in the city, and once again, appreciation again, because this is something we've been waiting to have Final Fours. We've been waiting to have NFL drafts, so now that we got it, 2024, 2027. Are there any plans in the future to build new venues, to build new things, to maybe get a new Lions facility or stadium, considering we're now starting to get things rolling in that people want to come to and that people want to attend?
Well, I think that's one of the things that people have recognized is we've already got great assets, great sports venues, 4 teams and 4 blocks. What more could you ask for? And those are world-class facilities. Now we've got to have the other infrastructure to go along with it, the hotel space, the entertainment options, all the restaurants, and that's coming. And that's what people are noticing. So, for me, I look back and kind of mirror this to the early 2000s when we landed the Super Bowl in 2001, and it all kind of snowballed, and we built that momentum. Along came the All-Star Game, the Ryder Cup, and the Final Four, PGA Championship, and I see that in our future now. So it's we got a lot of great things in our future, and I think we're poised for great success.
Hey, Dave, Tom Mazawey here. Congrats again. Very proud Detroiter now here. Loving all the events. I wanted to ask you about an event I really was looking forward to going to, but COVID knocked it out, and that was the Frozen Four. Is that coming back, and when can we expect that to hit Little Caesars or Ford Field?
Yeah, we were very disappointed to say the least, but it was certainly understandable. So next summer, the NCAA will be putting out all of their other championships. So there are about 90 of them across all 3 divisions for bid. So that includes the Frozen Four, the Division I Wrestling Championships, which we successfully hosted at LCA this past March. The preliminary rounds of men's basketball will also be out for bid, and several others. So Frozen Four is definitely one on our radar. Deserves to be in Detroit, and it deserves to be back in Detroit for that matter.
Yeah, the regionals. I love going to the regionals. That was awesome back at the Palace when the Palace was standing, and we haven't had regionals here at Little Caesars, which is that's a shocker to me.
Well, I've got some good news for you. It's already confirmed for 2024, the regional at Little Caesars Arena.
Awesome.
There we go.
We're going to get the Midwest Regional. I love it.
Hey, Dave, last thing. Is there any, you guys have been incredible. Is there any chance of getting a Super Bowl again here in Detroit without getting, a new stadium? Are those days kind of, I don't want to put our foot in the ground and bury us already, but are those days over? Do you just simply need the $4 billion stadium these days to get a Super Bowl?
Well, you need $4 billion to host it.
There you go.
That's the bigger issue. But for us, we have to understand what we are as a city, and I think we're comfortable with that. The NFL Draft is our Super Bowl, if you really look at it, and we're going to have tens of thousands of NFL football fans converging on our city for 3 days, and it's going to have a huge impact in a lot of different ways. And I'm not even sure the NFL realized what this was going to become when they left New York and started to rotate it around the country.
Great stuff, man. Dave, we can't thank you enough. You guys do such great work. And don't be afraid to lob off an opportunity for another WrestleMania here.
Hey, I'm just saying. Huge wrestling guy right there.
It's on the radar.
There we go.
Very good.
And make sure you tell Marty Doback we said hey.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
Hey,
right.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Great work by your organization. So many great. The NFL draft, the USGA event, Final Four.
You forget, man. You forget
first, second
everything that
round
was
games
here.
coming. I mean, there's a lot coming. And those guys at the Detroit Sports Commission are a huge reason why Detroit is getting all these events.
Bring back the Buick Open while you're at it.
Absolutely. Hey, we got the Rocket Mortgage Classic
I know.
instead.
There you go.
Guys, we'll take a break. Come right back. Our pick segment next. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Downtown Detroit is all decked out this holiday season with the return of the Cadillac Lodge and the Monroe Street Midway. The Midway has the giant slide, the winter bumper cars, and of course, the indoor arcade. Not to mention, you can always grab a drink at the Lodge before or after any Lions, Wings, or Pistons home game. So shop, eat, and play downtown all winter long with Decked Out Detroit. And don't forget to check them out at deckedOutDetroit.com.
All right, Tom Mazawey, here we go. Let's flash the records. Do we have the records?
I'm pretty sure we do.
We got the records.
We got
Who's
them
on
all.
top, baby?
You've
Who's on top?
You've taken the lead.
You know what time it is.
Congratulations.
You know what time it is. That's right.
It's taken you how many weeks now? 11 weeks to pass us.
Hey, man, look, it's a good thing.
All right, let's start it off then. Let's start a brand new week, Braylon. You and me this week. Bills at the Lions, Thanksgiving Day. The Lions getting 9.5. Ryan, you're the leader.
You know where I'm going, guys.
Circle them up.
I
then.
think the Lions are going to win the game, let alone the points. So I'm going with the points.
Okay.
Give me the Lions.
All right, Braylon.
Bills. I think injuries with the Lions right now. I'm kind of nervous about that. I just think the Bills. I think the Bills they have to get back on track if they're trying to walk into the playoffs with that energy that they had early on. I think getting a win against the Lions that are surging would be damn good for them.
They're going to be tough to beat, those Bills, no doubt about it. But I think the Lions will cover the 9.5. All right, the game 2 on Thanksgiving Day. It's the Giants. You just saw them. They are out the Cowboys, and you saw what they did to the Vikings.
That's the wrong number on there. The Cowboys
are giving 8.5.
Minus 8.5.
Yes, 8.5. Cowboys giving 8.5.
Go ahead,
Cowboys. I'm taking Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm going with Dallas
I
as
think
well.
this is the fall of the Giants that Ryan and Amani predicted, and I think this is crunch time for the Cowboys.
Yep.
And they're coming off a great win against the Vikings. They keep that momentum.
I'll take that too. Today's the anniversary of Odell Beckham's catch. by the way.
Really?
Yes.
There you go.
8 years.
Against the Cowboys.
8 years ago. I'll take the
Unbelievable.
Cowboys in this game. I hope the Giants can keep it close, but I'll take Dallas. Patriots at the Vikings in the nightcap. Vikings at home. They seem like they're always home. They're favored by 2.5 over New England on Thanksgiving night. Last time New England played on a Thanksgiving night was the butt fumble.
Ooh, that sucks. I'm going with the Vikings on this one. I think Vikings had a rough one. Sometimes you just have games like that. I told you guys before. It was a game where I was in New York with the Jets, and we lost to the Patriots 49-3. Sometimes you just have games like that, and I think that was that game for the Minnesota Vikings last week.
New England.
You taking the Pats? You smell a rat, don't you? I smell a rat too. 2.5 isn't enough points.
You both
for the
going New
Vikings.
England?
I'm going to take. No, I'm not taking New England.
Oh.
Screw New England. Give me the Vikings, and I'm going to be rooting hard for them
There
to
you
win
go.
that game. Here we go. The Bears. Who knows if Justin Fields is going to play against Mike White and the Jets at the Meadowlands. Jets favored by 4.5. Ryan.
I'm going to go with the Jets. That first game really gives, I'll pick against the Jets next week, but this week I'll go with the Jets, New York Football Jets.
All right, Bray.
Mike White looks like he's angry, like he's trying to improve. But you got the Jets are giving the Bears 4.5.
Yes.
I'm taking the Bears.
You taking the Bears at Jersey?
I'm taking the Bears.
All right, Justin might not play.
Oh, this is right. He may not play.
He may not.
And
He may play, but he may not.
I take the Bears if he plays, the Jets if he doesn't. Can I do that? I mean, we're picking on Wednesday as opposed to Friday.
Fine, we'll let you do that.
Yeah.
The bookie will tell you to go to hell.
You know what? I'll just pick Justin Fields.
Because he probably wouldn't place the bet until he knows whether or not.
Correct. You're allowed to do that.
You're allowed to do that.
Okay, Bears if he does, Jets if he don't.
Okay.
I'll take the Jets either way. All right, Atlanta at Washington. Two hot teams here. Falcons and Washington. Washington's 4-point favored in Landover, Maryland. Ryan.
I'm going to go with Atlanta.
Go with Atlanta against red hot Tyler Heineke.
I don't know who I want
Tyler
to win that game.
Heineke?
I guess I want Atlanta to win the game. Actually, I guess I want Washington to win the game because they want to bury the Atlanta.
You want a tie?
Yeah, I'd rather tie Atlanta. I'd rather tie Washington. Give me Washington.
All right.
I'll take Washington as well. Chase Young's supposed to play this game. I'm excited about seeing that. Excited to see him have him come back. And then you talked about Tyler Heineke and what he's doing. He's leading by example. He's getting aggressive out there. He's having fun. I'll go with the Washington Commanders.
Washington's rolling, man, but Atlanta covers every week. I'm going to take Atlanta to stay in the spread, Washington to win. Give me Atlanta, Ryan.
Okay. You
Circle
got
them
it.
up for me. All right, Bengals at the Titans. Titans getting no respect again at home. Titans getting 1.5 at home, Braylon.
Titans getting 1.5 at home.
No respect. No respect.
You know what? I'm going with the Bengals. Bengals are very hot
You're
right
not
now.
respecting them either.
It's not that I'm not respecting it. I'm respecting what I'm seeing out of Joe Burrow and that offense a little bit more. I'm gonna take the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Cincinnati as well.
Okay, this is a rematch of the playoff game. If you remember last year. Remember the Bengals knocked the Titans out of the playoffs.
They did.
Titans getting revenge this time. Give me Tennessee. They're home, getting 1.5. Let's see. Packers and the Eagles. Eagles are home, and they're favored by 7. Ryan.
Ooh, that's too many points.
It's a lot of points.
But I like the point. It's Eagles, baby. Fly, Eagles, fly.
All right. You're taking the Eagles.
Ooh, taking the Eagles. You just never know with the Packers. You never know Aaron Rodgers. Eagles coming off that line. That win, that was ugly. Eagles.
Eagles, baby.
I'll
Fly.
take the pack. Give me the pack to cover the spread.
You have to do it.
And here we go. The bonus game of the week. Michigan at Ohio State. Buckeyes favored by 7.5. Who wants it first? Braylon, you're a Michigan guy.
Michigan.
You're first.
Michigan on the money line, baby.
Michigan to win.
Michigan on the money line.
Michigan on the money line.
Go blue.
I'll take
Hell, baby.
I'll take Michigan in the points.
3 ways.
I'll take him Michigan in
Three
the
ways.
points.
Michigan, baby. Go blue, baby.
There you go, right?
Go blue. You know what time it is.
You know what time it is.
That's right. All right, gang. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. So there's our picks. Hopefully you've enjoyed them. We certainly have enjoyed them.
Make some cash.
Yeah. It's a really fun thing if you can do it. It's a really fun thing if you can do it. Very good. All right, guys, we're going to take a break. Come right back. What do we do? We're going to get into some more sports. We'll talk some more sports. It's Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Excited, man.
Do you still go out? Is a bar night still a big night?
Red Wings play tonight, too.
Look at that. Big night. Chili Peppers Tanning has this message for you, Tom
Yes,
Mazawey.
sir. 27 locations, more on the way. And if you join the Pepper Club, they're going to save you $5 on unlimited tanning against any competitor out there. Plus, you get the cleanest salons in the D, the hottest bowls, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. It's ChiliPeppersTanning.com.
.com.
Love Woodward Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I've lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Centron is the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings, and now for a limited time they have combined all three of their flavors into a limited edition 6-pack. Go to CentronWorld.com/Red Wings. Get this amazing product. The cranberry one by far is my favorite. Great in the morning, get you going, get you to work, get you on time, give you the energy you need to succeed. And Carpe Diem, baby, that seize the day. Officially energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings.
Hey guys, I was just having some fun on a Twitter poll a couple of days ago. If only one thing can happen this weekend, the Lions beat the Bills or Michigan beats Ohio State, what could it be? And I guess Michigan State fans couldn't be involved in that. It would just have to purely be a Michigan and Detroit Lions fan question, because obviously every Michigan State fan is going to say the Lions. And I'm curious, because if you think a win against the Bills is going to propel you to the playoffs, would you basically have a Michigan national champion or a Lions Super Bowl? That's really, I would say that's really hard.
A Lions playoff, you mean?
No, I'm saying a Lions. How about a Lions playoff win?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, or a Michigan college football playoff win.
Not championship.
Not championship. Because then you can just go to the extreme and say Lions Super Bowl or Michigan national championship.
I say you just put it, each make the playoff.
Okay.
All right? That makes it fair.
Lions make the playoffs or Michigan makes the playoffs.
You're only allowed one.
I don't even know why you're asking me.
I know you.
You're
right.
Lions.
I'm curious what a lot of people say.
I can tell you what I'd pick.
What, Lions?
I'd pick the Lions.
Yeah. Just because we haven't seen it a lot, right?
Yeah, it's the
Lions. NFL.
It's the Lions.
Right.
I don't know what it is about this stinking team, but I want
lack of
them,
success.
I just want them to be something.
I don't know, but it's like if I'm gonna forfeit my wish to another team, the Detroit Lions, then I would hope they would be in a situation to win in the playoffs. They're not. So if I'm looking at it from that standpoint, yeah, let them get to the playoffs just to get there and then lose, versus they get there, all they got to win is 2 games.
So if the Lions made the playoff realistically in that 7 seed, they would be playing the Minnesota Vikings in Minneapolis. Would that be an unwinnable game for the Lions?
Of course not.
No.
Because, I would assume that I don't know, or Dallas at Minnesota.
That's winnable too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you're looking at it not in the right lens. You say winnable. If you're talking regular season, the game is winnable. But you're talking about the playoffs.
Playoffs.
The playoffs is very different. Like, the teams aren't the same in the playoffs. Like, when you play a Dallas team in the playoffs, as a Detroit Lions team, it's going to be a different team than you would see in September or in October.
Well,
Teams
I think
are different.
Dallas only has like one playoff win since the 90s.
They
so,
do. I'm
yeah.
just using them as
Yeah.
an NFC team, but I'm saying like the level of intensity, the level goes up, and like if you're not conditioned for that moment, and the Lions don't have anybody conditioned for that moment, you can argue Jared Goff, and I could be like, okay.
But yeah, that's the fun thing to think about, because I would think they had the line, but this could be totally nuts, but because a lack of success from Kirk Cousins in the playoffs
Right.
and Dak Prescott in the playoffs.
Well, they might have a bye. The Lions wouldn't play them.
No, Philadelphia, I'm getting the bye.
That's
in
right.
This,
Philly, you're gonna get
Philadelphia,
Philly the bye.
I'm giving Philly the bye.
So the highest regular team will play
right,
the
and
Lions.
Dallas is only a game back of Minnesota right now, and they own
Right.
the tiebreaker. So you're looking at the Vikings or the Cowboys most likely as a first-round
Unless
playoff
the Niners
opponent.
run the table.
Yeah, exactly. But again, I think the pressure on the Vikings and the Cowboys in the playoffs this year is so high. You just don't know. And the Lions would be playing with house money. That being said, I'd say Michigan, because if Michigan gets in the playoff, it comes with a win over Ohio State. Really. So you get a little bit more bang for your buck. With that.
That's a good question for diehard Lions fans.
If you're forcing me to pick, I would say Michigan make the playoffs because it comes with a win over Ohio State. And you have the greater likelihood of winning a game against TCU than the Lions would have this year, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it'd be really, really difficult, but
for you, it's really pretty tough.
It is tough.
Yeah.
I'm being pulled into so many different directions. And if you ask me that question tonight, 4 hours from now, I might say the Lions. I mean, I'd probably go back and forth on this thing for a while.
It's interesting, though. I mean, it is an interesting question, because you get the Detroit Lions fans that are diehards that have been waiting forever and ever. You get those guys, you get them versus the Michigan guys that have been watching Michigan get beat up for the better part of 20 years or so. It's put them in the ring together. It's an interesting question.
Let's put up that playoff picture now while we're talking about the playoffs in the NFC. It's Philadelphia. I cannot see Philadelphia relinquishing that top spot right now to either Dallas or Minnesota. I think Minnesota's playing way over their skis. Coming in at 8-1.
They have.
I mean, they'll probably finish out the rest of the year 4-3, maybe.
They still got a lot. They got a lot of
that
talent.
puts them
on
at
that
12-5 though on the year. That's a very good record. 12-13 wins. And right now, Seattle owns that spot. How good is Seattle? How far will they fall, or will they grab a hold of that playoff spot and continue? I don't think the Giants are going to make the playoffs when it's all said and done. I think you'll have one spot available or two. The Giants and the Seahawks are the two teams that I think will fall out. Seattle has a better shot to stay in than does the Giants, in my opinion, on that NFC side.
Seattle. Yeah, Seattle definitely does have a chance. I mean, you see they lost their game against Tampa. Tampa hasn't necessarily played the best. The defense did play a little bit better. Devontae White.
That was overseas, too.
True. I mean, it was a game nonetheless. But just going back to that, they look like a team that could fall out. The Seattle Seahawks, they look like a team that can go what the Giants are doing. I think the Giants will fall out as well. So it'll just be interesting to see how the 49ers and the Vikings finish the rest of the season, because I think those are the two teams that can challenge the Eagles. Like you said, Ryan, Amani, and what you saw out of those 49ers, granted the last two games have been against teams that aren't that good. They just look really good all the way around. So it'd be interesting, because I think the Eagles and the 49ers are on a collision course.
And again, with the Seattle Seahawks, we always talk about this. It's not who you play, it's when you play them. And the Seattle Seahawks have 2 games left against the LA Rams, most likely without Cooper Kupp, and most likely without, more importantly, Matthew Stafford.
There you go.
Both games.
They're folding up their
So that is one of those scenarios where you're like, that's a win for Seattle, right? A win. Unless Aaron Donald wants to keep dominating games, but he can't score the football. I mean, he could, but
now
it's
let's go to
unlikely.
the other side. Let's go to the draft picks, and let's see where you fall on this, because now Lion fans can play both sides of the fence. They could be in the hunt for a playoff, and they could also root for the Rams to keep plummeting, because look right now where they be picking. Here's the draft choices. Here's your draft order from after week 11. We got to put that up, Fletch.
He's working on it.
I know. He's right.
on it.
I'm going to say right now I think they're 5th. The Rams will be picking 5th, which is the Lions, which is pretty damn good.
There you go. And then the Lions will be picking what right now?
Right
8th?
now, Houston will be picking number 1 because they have one
With
win.
the Lions, though. With the Lions picking.
Is there any question that Houston is going to be getting the
Number one pick?
Number one
Yeah,
pick. Is there any question about that?
They're getting it. Lovie Smith will make sure that they're getting it.
That's why he was hired.
Yep. Davis Mills sitting out this week. They get Kyle Allen will be their quarterback. There you go. There's your draft choices.
Houston, Carolina, quarterback, Will Anderson, quarterback, and then I don't know who Seattle would
4th
take.
isn't going to take a quarterback. You said 4 takes a quarterback?
Yeah.
Nah, not with
You don't
Derek.
think so?
Not with Derek Carr. Nah, it's not.
You don't think they've given up on Carr?
Yeah, but you're talking about who are the quarterbacks in this draft that they would take 3rd? Because you're already saying C.J. Stroud and Bryce are gone, picks 1 and 2. And then you say Will Anderson 3. Then who's going to be the quarterback before they're taking Will Levis? Will Levis isn't going 4th overall.
Hey, you just look at Philadelphia.
Yeah, they got New Orleans picked.
Man. So
I hope New Orleans keeps winning. At least take Philly out of the damn top 10.
So
Please.
I went through the Rams schedule, and we both kind of did this, Maz, where we win-loss the rest of the way for the Rams, and we've got the Rams at 5-12, finishing the year at 5-12. 5-12 last year gets you the 6th pick in the NFL draft. So that's pretty darn good, man. You're going to get a really good player at number 6 if that happens. Last year 3 teams tied at 4-13. So that Rams pick could get really, really good. And
Really good,
I think
man.
6 is really good, by the way.
And also, too, man, like you talk about draft capital, having that draft capital, having that wiggle room, you know what I'm saying, on draft day, being able to get on those phones, get on those calls, and make some calls that can, be monumental and create some space that you can take over. So it's going to be interesting to see what picks they finally have, and be interesting to see how Brad Holmes works his magic on draft day.
I know this is way out there, but do the Rams even have a top 3 pick at all? First, second, third round?
I don't know. Last year they didn't have a pick until the 5th round, I believe it was, the LA Rams.
They're hurting, man. They won their Super Bowl, so they're playing.
They
sold their soul to the devil, and now they're paying.
Yeah. But if you would have told me that, I would have taken that. Wouldn't you take that here in Detroit?
Of course. We take it every year without winning a Super Bowl.
Right.
Take a win.
Of course.
Truth. And
what are you guys going to do for Thanksgiving?
Hosting 28. 20 adults, 8 kids.
You all set? You got everything?
We're ready to go.
You got your birds?
The key to Thanksgiving is you cook everything today.
Yeah.
And then you warm it up for tomorrow. That's the key to.
You don't think you dry out the turkey?
No, you got to leave it in all that juice. Cook it to about 150. Leave it in all that juice, and then warm it up.
Chef Bobby?
Chef Bobby.
Black people, baby, we've been doing that. We've been doing that. Dinner is done tonight. Dinner is done tonight for the most part. There's a couple little things you touch up tomorrow, but everything will be done tonight.
Tomorrow,
I've got sit in the oven and
get
it ready.
It's a holiday for me. Thanksgiving is a holiday that all we do is run. And I have my family in from Jersey. Well, my sister and her family, they stay with us. It's been awesome. It's been 30 years they've been coming. 29 years they've been coming. We do they girls like the turkey trot in the morning.
Really?
Then the parade. That's Kathy's game.
Is that what you're doing tomorrow?
Yeah, turkey trot, parade. And then I got 4 tickets to the Lions, so 4 of us will go to the Lions
Which
game.
4? How do you choose?
Well, it's me and Mike always, and then the rest will fight it out. Jenny probably will go, my sister, and Lily will probably get the 4th ticket.
How does she get the ticket?
Because she's probably the biggest fan of the rest of the bunch. But we'll see. She might not want it, and maybe Maddie will go.
Goes down to the next one.
Kathy don't want it because she has too much to do.
Right.
So it is what it is. But it's just, and then we go to her aunt's house for Thanksgiving dinner. I mean, it is 6 a.m. to 10 o'clock at night.
Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. It is just family, food, and football. There's no gifts. You don't have to worry about buying anything. You don't have to worry about opening anything up.
It's my least favorite dinner.
Oh, man.
I do not like Thanksgiving dinner.
Every year around Thanksgiving, I'm reminded of what Jim Leland said many, many years ago.
And that was?
It's his hand in his little, in his waist.
What do you say?
Tucked in his waistband.
All those meals you eat all year long. There is no meal that you eat Better than Thanksgiving because the cigarette tastes so good after Thanksgiving that you will not smoke a cigarette all year long better than the one you will smoke after Thanksgiving dinner. And that's just pure gold.
That's quality.
And it's the truth. There is no better cigarette you will smoke all year than after Thanksgiving dinner.
That is quality.
Happy Thanksgiving, all you turkeys out there.
Absolutely.
Go Lions and
100%.
go Michigan.
Go Lions, go Michigan. Bray, get us out of here, baby.
Man, been a great week so far. Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. All the supporters, all the haters, we love you all because you watch the show nonetheless, and we're getting better.
Haters?
And 100%, they deserve. They deserve to be thankful for something as well. We love you, appreciate you. Detroit Lions tomorrow. What are they going to do? Armani seems to think they're going to win. How about you? My man JB, Fletch, Maz on the couch, myself, my brother from another mother, Ryan Amani. We are Amani and Edwards with Maz. See you Friday.
Talk coming.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.